Live, we live, we live. Peace, family. We live, we live. We are live now. We are live now. Peace to the family. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me.
Woo.
Let me know if you could hear me, family. We are live now with the pills today. One pill at a time. You know how they all don't come at the same time. One pill at a time.
A lot of time.
One pill at a time. Let me know if y'all can hear me before we get started, family. We not gonna have too long of a show. Oh, Blue, could you email me that flyer while we are
Yep.
so I can put it, I can show the people during the show tonight. All right, family. Yeah, we gonna have a good show tonight, family. A lot going on. I mean, they trying to BS us at every angle of the game. They thinking we dumb, but we not. We students of the best of them. We students of Dr. Laila Africa, Dr. Sabi, Dick Gregory, all the greats, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. All the shout out to all the greats that came before us and schooled us on health, prepared us for this day, told us to eat once a day. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
Told us all types of things. Eat to what's the name of the book, Blue? How to Eat to Live?
Yeah, how to eat to live.
Yeah, How to Eat to Live. Classic. Classic.
Very
So
necessary.
gotta get rid of some trolls. Well, why are people trolling already? God damn. Jesus Christ, brother, you ain't got no life. It's Saturday night. He ain't got no lady. He ain't got no lady, man. You trolling Saturday night.
I know,
You
lady.
ain't you ain't got no lady at all. So it's sad. I feel for you, my brother. But we gonna keep it going. Shout out. Did you see Fresh and Fit and Dr. Malik Zulu Shabazz heated exchange? No, I did not. No, I did not see that. I did not see that. I heard about them saying some slick shit about dark skinned women, but I just that the clip just went viral, but I don't know. Other than that, I'm not gonna follow up. I'm not interested in any of that. But I did see that clip. You know what I'm saying? Let me give a shout out real quick. All right, before we get started here, as always, I got to shout out my brother King Simon, one of the best when it comes to numerology. Text him your full name, date of birth, 347-496-1022. And that brother could definitely offer you some help on an energetic level. Yo, Blue, I thought it was 10% or 1%. They said we only see 0.003% on the light spectrum or something. Well, what is it
Yeah,
exactly?
3%, 0.3%. Huh?
I, I don't know why I thought it was 10%. It's 0.0. Like,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
crazy.
because that
That's
number is
crazy.
tied in with the fact that they also told us that we use 10% of our brain. So we
Right.
tend to think that it's the same thing. Oh, we have access to 10% of the visible spectrum and we use 10% of our brain.
Right.
Neither one of those statistics are quite true. And if it is, it's for the savants. It's for the people that are at the highest degree of awareness, that are really accessing fully functional brains, meaning dual hemispheric. And now the,
Mm.
the majority of society is not accessing that amount of awareness. And even if the numbers was high, like in 2012 or
Right.
2010, it ain't the same now.
It
Even
ain't
if
the
it was in
same.
2015.
Damn.
Um, Shout out to Dr. Malone, right? He's been making his rounds on Joe Rogan's and a lot of other podcasts. They've been attempting to um, censor this man at every turn, but he's a consummate professional in regards to his degrees and his rankings and his positions in the medical establishment. This is
Mm-hmm.
the gentleman that was the founder of the mRNA technology,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he's been speaking about mass formation. That's a concept and a term about the culling of society. When society
Mm.
gets to a point of hypnosis, as this society has gotten, and they had a movie called Idiocracy.
I seen it.
Bill speaks on
I
it
seen it.
often. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that movie speaks to the dumbing down of the American populace. So, in their observation, they speak about the seeding of it happening initially, like I said, 9/11, but also the Trump presidency. You know what I'm saying? When people elected to throw out, right, realities for false realities. That's where the convolution took place. And then you on the gate, you on the fence, you're tinkering, and then this tsunami comes. You feel me? And people weren't firmly footed in terms of their reality. So remember, 2020 was really, it was a test about are you processing what you see?
Right, right.
Are you and then your failure to do so, what would that allocate you more access to the visible spectrum, or you're going to start losing a little bit more and more because you have what's called myopic views. You can only see this far, let alone the color. You got tunnel vision. That starts, affecting your brain and your relationship with your own consciousness. And I would definitely recommend that people look up what's being said about mass formation, the lulling and the culling of a society, where the creation of a two-tier society like we're seeing, and this is every bit relevant to what we're talking about tonight. The separation and the culling of a society, right? Where you create a two-tier society, it has been shown in history, right, that these are the steps that are being taken where the majority, or what is considered the mass, and in this particular incident, the numbers only have to be around 30%, right? 30% is considered mass populace. Something just has to be 4% for it to be considered mass adoption. But the masses of people, if you got 30%, you have enough. You feel me? You make those people uncomfortable enough, and then you convince them that this other group is responsible for it. Ride or die. And then they lose all rationality, right? So it's not even, they can't even make sense of what they're seeing. Is what they're hearing, right? It's what they're hearing, especially if they have a trusted leader. That's what I was saying with this. Imagine this campaign under somebody like an Obama or someone who they really trusted and believed in.
Man, niggas would have came knocking on our doors, Blue.
Y'all got Sleepy Joe.
Get that motherfucking thing. Oh, niggas would have been. Oh man.
Yeah. So
them bots, them human bots would have been tight.
But in in that regard, what they consider to be the leader in this particular case would be the person who said that if science was a person, it would be him, right? So Dr. Alki, I'm not gonna say, I don't even know if I can even mention names on these platforms anymore, but those individuals, Bill Gates and what have you, who have presented themselves as experts or the guides, I'm gonna lead you out of the valley where the danger exists. These are deep psychological games that are being played on the masses, and the research has finally come in where people can look, at the changes of the mental psychosis of a global population, because this is being enacted by global media, right? They're all touting the same line. This is no longer just you get in that DM where they show all of the mainstream media in this country following the same script. This is a global script. Global. All right.
I wanna give
Peace
a
to brother
shout.
Red Pill. Yes.
Red, you alright, man? You was arguing on the phone and shit, man. You okay, Red?
I'm good. Everything is great.
Just want to make sure you're okay. I want to
Yeah,
give a
the
shout
people,
out.
they're supposed to deliver some Beyond Meat to me, and
and they never came through.
Yeah, they like, you're not getting your Beyond Pork. I'm like, look, I'm trying to get some Beyond Chitlins tonight.
Yeah, I want to give
Every
a shout
of my
out.
order.
I want to give a shout out. I got this in the store. It's called Land of Buddha, and this is like a more. It's real old, as you can see. It's real old.
That's
And
resonate.
yeah, ever since I got this, I've been my energy's been super high, and my life's been luckier. So I want to give a shout out to this African.
Yeah,
it comes from he said it comes from Burma. Am I saying
What
it
name
right?
did you give her?
I don't. No name. No name. No
All right.
name. No name.
Not
No
yet.
name. Not yet. No name. But yeah, shout
That's
out to this
fire.
Buddha. Yeah. Yeah, I was doing a little shopping and I got that. Oh man.
Shout out
What's
to
good?
Tassili Raw Reality too.
Whoo, that yo, man, that's good. When I was down there 2 weeks ago, Blue put me on. Man, that's good, man.
My God.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yo, speaking of vegan, since we talking about vegan, I was talking to Blue about this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to come at white people. And shout out to anybody white watching the show right now. I ain't trying to come at y'all, but I got something to say.
Dude,
Anybody white watching the show? Shout out to y'all. Any white folks watching the show?
dudes,
You know, we don't discriminate. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Listen, the white vegan stores out here are horrible. It's tofu this, tofu that, tofu this, it's like tofu bonanza.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
tofu bonanza. So in New York, I don't get good. And you would think New York will have good vegan food. You don't really get good vegan food, bro. There's
Right.
like a few West Indian spots in Brooklyn that I could go to, but other than that, this shit is trash, man.
Yeah,
They got
Harlem.
they got vegan junk food, and then they got it's like just mad vegan junk food, bro.
Right.
Horrible.
I want
Yes.
to put. I want to say for the record, I've traveled a lot of places, and when it comes to vegan cuisine, right? When it comes to vegan eateries,
Mm.
I've never seen a movement like what I see in Atlanta.
Mm.
They've added some spice to the menu. Okay, they've made it very, very palatable to be a consumer of both raw food and also to be strictly vegan and whatnot. Now, of course, tonight we'll have the conversation about the discrepancies dealing with the Beyond Meat and all of the mock meats and whatnot. You know, we're seeing a lot of eateries sprout up and making that the main menu. However, there's many, many other options. New York City, right? For anybody that's out there, I stick to the Ethiopians with the vegan platter. I'm like, I don't try to go too far with their stuff. Like you were saying, Rich, is grossly commercialized, very overpriced and watered down, and the taste of the food does not compare to other places outside of New York, especially when you taste the food down south and in California. When I went to LA with Blue, man, they have vegan food on every other corner, and them Europeans was doing it a little bit more authentic. I believed what they was. I felt that they were part of their lifestyle. New York,
they was
New York is different, huh?
They competing for the crown out there in LA.
Woo.
So
well, they doing their thing.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, no, they go
do
hard.
their thing. And like you said, it's incorporated into their lifestyle. I've told you on numerous occasions, Brother Rich, about me encountering the European conscious community out west.
You see
and
yeah.
You know how advanced that community was and is. Those are the same venues we can find people like Billy Carson and what I'm saying, amongst that level of expertise. So the vegan movement out there is a little bit more innovative, what I'm saying? And yeah, I would say that. And they're mindful of the taste and the texture, the taste palette, because they understand that their market, their demographics are very vast. They're not just going hand in hand with one another, but there exists a multiculturalism. So we would say in Atlanta, in the southern scene, taste is very important, to vegans as well. And categorically, this region or this area of the planet, the melanated people, the Europeans as well, they have a heavy meat consumption. So it's grilled, it's barbecued. There's a taste and a texture preference, and it's very competitive even on the meat side. So it translates in terms of flavoring and tasting and texture. You have to do that down here in Atlanta because the industries that you're up against it's so lopsided. In
Right.
New York, per se, it almost seems like, yeah, they're just riding off of the you know, whatever
Yeah.
the trend is.
Shout out
Right.
Mama Pill in the
Shout out
building.
Mama
Yes.
Pill in the
Hey,
Shout
building.
out Mama
Yes.
Pill has entered the building.
peace,
Everybody say what up to
Mama's in
Mama
the
family.
Pill.
building.
Chat
Mama.
love. Show Mama Pill some love. Mama's in the building. You know
Peace,
when Mama pulls
family.
up, we got to make it right. You know.
How you doing, Mama Pill?
I'm doing well, Brother Rich. We're experiencing northern winter temperatures here in Atlanta, so I'm not so pleased about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, Atlanta's getting ready for a snowstorm. And if anybody from the East Coast has ever relocated to the A, this is apocalypse. This
Stay
is
off the
this is
road.
their
Stay off the
version.
road.
Huh?
Stay off the road.
Yes.
Bro. Stay
After
out
I
the
drive.
just stay
After I
out the
drive.
people's way.
Yes. Yes.
Stay
The
forward.
road, stay out the supermarket, just fall back because they're going through something in Atlanta right now. And for people from the East Coast, this don't got nothing to do with you. Okay? Because we've been through
Mind
snowstorms
your business.
that were taller than us.
Yeah, mind your business.
When it comes to 2 inches of snow in the A or black ice,
Right.
the whole city shut down and they start acting foolish.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. So
I was but the black ice is dangerous though, because I was there in 2000, was it 01 mall? When they had that big ice storm?
I was in Honduras at the Usha village when that happened.
Yeah.
So Sabi and I, everybody was looking at his flat screen TV. He was just hilarious because the people were stranded on the road overnight, children in school buses. I mean, it just I'd never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it broke down.
Yeah.
Wow.
It really shut down. They don't have the infrastructure here for heavy snowfall.
Snow, right?
They just don't have it. Well, and then it's not like in New York where they have the experience, they have the equipment.
Right.
So even if the storm doesn't happen in the way that it's being forecast, they already do that. They take the precautionary measures and they spread the salt and they do all of that. Here, they just didn't anticipate and didn't do that. And then by the time all the snow fell, they couldn't even, I don't know. It's just, it's another system here. But other than that, Brother Rich, I'm doing well. I'm anticipating tomorrow the function we're gonna do.
Blue, did you email me that flyer? I'm sorry, Mama Bill.
Yes. With red and blue. So I'm excited about that. I'm always excited about how we can, service the family, people who know us.
Where y'all speaking tomorrow? Mama Pill?
Well, actually, we're not going to be in an actual brick and mortar location.
The Zoom, right?
Yes.
We'll be on Zoom.
Yes.
In the metaverse. And we'll be on Zoom, online only. When the weather gets better, we're all in Atlanta. So, we will be doing physical presentations and workshops. But right now, to be honest with you, it's the beginning of the year. And Red and Blue, we're dedicating ourselves to putting Mama Pill where she deserves to be, in a proper place in the conversation when it comes to health and wellness and things of that nature. There's a lot of people that haven't even heard Mama Pill teach, don't even know who Mama Pill is, don't know her backstory and her legacy. So as her sons, the platforms that we have, the connections and the networks that we belong to, we're going to make it our business in 2022 to, definitely brand Mama Pill and, get her out there and get it in front of both the people, the elders, the babies, the young generation, because she has a lot to deliver, a lot to say. And, we the students, we sitting back and we going to let Mama Pill work her magic.
All right, family, we're not going to be on too long tonight because hopefully everybody's going to be joining them on the Zoom tomorrow.
Yes.
That's the big show. The big show is tomorrow, family, where they're going to,
That's right.
obviously, we all know by now that a lot of things are being censored and people, I think your channel's suspended right now, right, Blue?
Till April, they shut me down, man. We caught a strike last week. Yeah, man.
So they channel is down right now. Man, y'all better get on this Zoom. Yo, crazy. Yeah,
Took my
Instagram, right?
and my YouTube.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is insane. What's going on?
They took my Instagram yesterday for a post I made about the satanic church teaching in Illinois schools. They said it was hate speech.
All right, so it's important. So this is why it's important that whatever platform is still available for us to teach one another, knowledge, information, tools, so that we are living more like, say, how my great grandmother and my grandmother, those women and those men of that time, they were more into a preventive mode. Like they were into prevention, doing everything that prevented something that would cause sickness, imbalance, hardship, sorrow, pain, suffering. That's what they practice. And it only makes common sense to me that since it worked for them, it still is what can work for us. So that's what I'm going to be about, teaching, this year of 2022. And I'm going to be doing it. And it's almost like the pills are just in time, because at some point I'm going to step back, take a break, and do some other kind of things like traveling. So I won't be teaching for a while, so that's why I'm going to be doing it now, a couple of months of the year. And then, like my mentor, Sabi, I'm basically the same age he is when he was talking about how he was going to step back, let the woman like take over. And, I basically understand, where he was coming from, at that particular time. So people, family, people who know us, people who don't know us, as the twin said, a lot of people still don't know about me. They don't know what I've done, what I teach, what I know. So join us tomorrow.
What's the link? Can y'all post the link, red or blue?
Yeah, I just dropped it in your private chat.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
My thing is set up, I can't even drop comments. I don't know, but
damn, bro.
Nah, you good though. It's in a private chat.
Yeah, I got it. I'm just saying, they did you dirty, right?
Nah, they did. You know what they did, Rich? They did what they supposed to do.
Right.
They got me in a place where, they like, yo, family, you pump, you need to get on your job. This ain't, they politely kicking me out the house. They not kicking me out the house like Will Smith kicked Jazz out the house. They just like, you know what? You got to do your own thing, my brother. You and your brother spitting too much fire. Y'all glowed up and whatnot. Get your own stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I respect Zuckerberg for that.
Yeah, this is just not working no more.
Yeah, it's like, it's one of those relationships where they're like, you know what, guys? There's a conflict of interest. You know what I'm saying?
They
out here
like,
trying to sell poison.
Y'all been the longest here with us. They like, go get your own thing, man. We done this. We done a long walk with y'all.
Right.
Like 10, 15
we held
years.
your hand.
Yeah, but it's y'all gotta go find your own thing. Do your own thing. Y'all done woke enough people up over here. You damn near did it for free. We demonetized you before you even started. So
right. They like, go on out there. I saw the list of the top YouTube earners. My goodness. That alone made me want to say, you know what, guys? My work is done here, because they got people making $10 million on this platform playing games. Literally,
kids,
video games.
Like 8-year-olds and stuff. They got
I'm putting on the clown makeup in the mirror like, I'm about to go live. Where'd you see me? No, fam. That's not what we're going to be doing in 2022. It's too many options available. I'm about to kick the habit of YouTube. I love my YouTube family. I love the network that's out there. But I know that everybody don't live in the YouTube house. You know, there's other places where we congregate. So it's all gravy. Like, they do what they want to do, but I promise you,
we
I will
got
sprout
an
up.
amazing Discord going. You know the ledger
Woo.
where
Yes.
we drop articles. You know, we can start going live from there. We you know, it's a better intimate interaction. You know, it's a closed environment. You know what I mean? So things like that, you know, portals such as that, you feel me? Those are things that we probably would be putting more emphasis and energy into. Um, and I've been swinging back through Clubhouse. You know, I've been embracing that platform again. My Clubhouse bills have been lit, so feeling it.
Clubhouse been turned.
So to start out with, since we were talking about Atlanta and the cold, and it's cold in New York, just a question. I want to ask you, Mama Pill, as far as being a vegan, is the vegan diet, is it not suitable for cold temperatures like 20 and below? Is the body too weak to maintain
Generate
health?
internal heat.
Yeah, generate internal heat when you're in
All
20
right.
degree temperature.
Okay, so this is what that's a question that Sabi and I faced in I believe it was like 83, no, about 82, 83, when we returned to the United States. We were residing in St. Croix at the time, and we got a job with Teddy Pendergrass, which brought us back to the United States, and from there, Sabi and I went to New York City because I wanted him to meet my family, and we started seeing clients in New York City, and it was wintertime. And people were suffering from, basically back then, we're talking 80, 81, 82, people were suffering from fatigue. They were suffering from diabetes. Many people were suffering from anemia. So the blood tonic was what helped people tremendously, because the blood has to do with maintaining thermal heat in the body. So iron is the mineral in the blood that's really instrumental in the blood actually functioning in a healthy way. So the iron in the wintertime is very important. So we used to emphasize people really staying on the blood tonic for the season that we call winter. And what would supplement the iron tonic, which I call oxyhemo, would be getting people to sort of redesign their kitchen and begin to put appliances in the kitchen that would yield them like fresh live food. And what I'm talking about is like we would get people into the whole mindset of juicing. So juicing green leafy vegetables, that also builds on what people benefit from the iron tonic. So let's say the iron tonic contains burdock root, sassafras, sarsaparilla, and then you're juicing every day, fresh dandelion leaves, spinach leaves, what else? Mustard greens, and you put other things in that in order to yield enough liquid, then you're going to be maintaining a high iron level, hemoglobin level in your blood, and that has everything to do with oxygen, the appropriate oxygen level in the cells, and then the whole mechanism of the body that creates internal heat.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
iron
Excellent.
and juicing in the wintertime is very important. And when I say juicing, I don't mean just 8 ounces. I mean, it's good to juice anywhere from a half a gallon to a gallon, because generally people have families. So you want to make sure you're giving the green juice to all your family. You see what I'm saying? As well as the iron, because when I was a child, they made sure that they gave us an iron tonic. Back then, maybe 1 or 2 herbs would suffice. Like they would always have dandelion around, and they would have like the sassafras and the sarsaparilla around, and those are the things they would give you. And then in the springtime, the children ate pomegranate fruit. That's what you ate as a snack. So we would go out in the street and play, and everybody would buy like a pomegranate, sit on the stoop, peel it, and eat the little red seeds, because pomegranate is also something that's high in iron. You see what I'm saying? So we had even though we were in the flesh eating diet, we were following that standard American diet, but it was basically, cultural soul food. We still had some dietary laws we were following, because those adults knew about those dietary laws, and they helped us form a habit.
Okay.
And it helped us.
Okay. All right.
And then the sea moss, Brother Rich.
Important.
The sea moss, having it hot in the morning and having it hot at night, and walking around with it, in your thermos, where you maintain the heat of it, and you're drinking that all day long. Yes.
Okay,
I'm sorry. Shout out to Secret in the building, who has a beautiful establishment in Atlanta, West End, called the Zen Bar. You know what I mean? Where you could get Mama Pill's products from.
Okay. Shout out to the Zen Bar.
Yes.
And the Sister Secret out there in the ATL.
Yes.
Mama Bill.
Yes.
in blue and red. So what everybody's talking about, what's being pushed right now, is healthy food. What they're calling it healthy food. They're calling it an alternative to meat. And they're saying, hey, this is the plant-based alternative. So when a person's trying to become healthy, they hear the word plant-based and they're like, shit, okay. Well, this is, even if it's not that good, it's better than eating the real thing. So what would you say to somebody who has the mentality, this shit is better to eat than the KFC chicken? I might as well eat beyond fried chicken. It got to be better than the KFC chicken. Talk to the people that's, just learning about veganism and all that, and these corporations are fooling them with this type of marketing.
Okay, so part of my presentation tomorrow, Brother Rich, is going to be like this basic information that you're asking me now, where I'll be talking about it a little bit more in depth, because of course there are men and women who are in business that are taking advantage of the fact that you have a larger percentage of the population in 2021 that are non-flesh eaters, say, than you did in 1981. And they're and people in business, in the food industry, they are aware of this. You know what I'm saying? So they're in business because we know this is a capitalist society, and those families are in business to make money and to make profit for their shareholders. So there are these buzzwords now that are created in marketing to attract people who are vegetarians or non-flesh eating people. But they still want the experience of the flavor and the texture of flesh, animal flesh. So men and women, they get together in cahoots with one another in the laboratory, and they figure out, we can manipulate this ingredient and that ingredient, and make it taste like animal flesh. And that's what they create, and that's what they promote. But they're really catering to people's taste buds and their memory of foods that they grew up on, and they develop a liking to it. But it doesn't mean that the product is nutritious or that it's providing essential minerals and other nutrients. It doesn't mean that.
Right.
I generally say that when you look on a label of a food product in a store and it's more than 5 ingredients, and if the ingredients are like 4 to 5 syllables before you can pronounce it, then that's not something that you should be considering as a safe food source, because simple clean foods, basically have just 1 to 2 syllables.
And let me say this, right? That's the importance of a Dr. Sabi.
Mm-hmm.
And let me clarify, right,
Mm-hmm.
that information is key in this space.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, there's buzzwords that are being thrown around,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a general conversation where the net is super wide,
Mm-hmm.
and whoever that net draws and captures in, you know what I'm saying, those people are game
Mm-hmm.
for whatever the change or the paradigm shift is going on at the particular time.
Right.
Right now is health, right? They see where it's going, and they're trappers. What does a trapper look like?
Mm-hmm.
Just like how a trapper got a bando and is standing at the door and is selling you stuff, right? They're playing the role of the trapper. People are attempting to transition into a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be the first person that they see.
Mm-hmm.
These people don't have no education in the space. The only thing that they're looking for is something that's what?
Yeah.
Plant-based.
Yeah.
They don't know to read the ingredients. They don't know what the ingredients are. What made Sabi's conversation and his contribution so critical is that he was educating the consumer to say, look, you're looking for things that are organic, not in the sense of how the FDA say organic is, but things that are genetically specific to your genome, right? Which is the big buzzword these days, to your genetic composition, to your DNA, to who you are, to what part of the planet you gravitate towards, because that food is going to contain the magnetic field, right, that's ingrained within that particular grid, and that's what's going into your electrical grid and electrifying you. So somebody had a podcast, there's a podcast in the community, and this individual had a guest on, and the guest said, he was juxtaposing. So he said, I think that Dr. Africa's students, he said, I think Dr. Africa is better than Dr. Sabi because of the student body, right? And I heard that, and I'm like, even though I could kind of look at what he means, Dr. Africa got celebrity, students or what have you in this particular space. But Dr. Africa taught a pedigree of information that is inclusive to the overall knowledge base that you should have in this space. But identifying hybrids versus real food, that was not his thing, right? He spoke more as someone who was on the lines, behind the line, if you will, of understanding the science, but the military science, you know what I'm saying, and the nutritional aspects of certain things from a scientific perspective, whereas, Sabi was speaking specifically to what? Identifying, a African-based, indigenous-based relationship to food. So somebody's going to look for electricity in their food. No one is going to go to KFC and look for electricity in a Beyond chicken. And you're lying to yourself if you think that you're going to Slutty Vegan and you're getting electricity out of an Impossible Burger, right? So again, based on the education, that's going to inform the consumer what it is specifically they're looking for, that they're willing to integrate, to contract with, because this is a contract right here.
Okay,
right?
Can I say something?
Yes.
Let me say something. For instance, this is an example, Brother Rich. In 1982, when Sabi and I came back to the United States, and we started, we would see Teddy Pendergrass, and then we would go over to Washington D.C. to a place called the Warehouse, It was a community warehouse that housed a food co-op, and some brothers and sisters, they ran it, and it was 2 stories. So the warehouse that housed, the refrigerators and all the food was on the lower level, and on the second level, the the people who ran the place, they actually lived upstairs. So we used to go there every month and do lectures, and we would we were able to stay there, and we would do consultations. And one of the things that Sabi introduced me to were foods that I didn't even know about, because in 1981 nobody was talking about quinoa. Nobody in the Black community was recommending quinoa as a whole food, as a food that was created by God, that was not manufactured, not made in the laboratory. Nobody was talking about teff. Teff is the grain out of Africa that the Ethiopians, if you go to an Ethiopian restaurant, I don't know if you've ever been, brother Rich, and you eat that bread, this substance, it's the bread, it looks kind of spongy. It's called Ninjera, I believe.
Injera, right?
Yeah. Okay. I never heard of teff before I met Sabi. I had never had Ethiopian food, like the vegetarian platter. I'd never had it until when we were in Washington, he went to an Ethiopian restaurant and brought the food back. And I couldn't even believe how delicious everything was, right? The collard greens, they do collard greens, they do cabbage, they do string beans, no animal flesh at all, no accent, no monosodium glutamate, herbs and spices from Ethiopia, right? I had never had that before. I had not had Mexican food before I met Sabi. So I didn't even know about the corn tortillas. I didn't know about any of those foods. I didn't know about amaranths until I met Sabi. So he was teaching and educating our community about these wild foods that our ancestors ate, right? But those foods were basically recommended not to eat whenever a particular geographical location where our ancestors were, and those places became colonized by the so-called European, right? Those foods were sort of put to the side, and foods that they brought were the foods that were sort of forced on the people. So that was the difference between, say, a Sabi and a Dr. Africa and some of the other people who were around the same time we were around. He got in a lot of trouble. We got in a lot of trouble because we were doing cutting edge research. So when he, as Paul said, when he brought to the consciousness and awareness to our community that some of the foods that we were eating based on the standard American diet in the United States were hybrids, and he particularly used the carrot, we got attacked.
To this day,
we got attacked by some of the major people out today who are talking yay about Dr. Sabi. Now that Dr. Sabi is dead and he is no longer here, those people are praising him, but in 81 they were talking against him because he was the one, Brother Rich, that was basically the mouthpiece then. The women were working in the background as his support system, but Sabi was the speaker. So he was attacked, and then because I was associated with him, I was attacked, and because Ma was associated, she was attacked, and we were just being accused of trying to monopolize the herbal platform, and we were just sort of being sensationalists with the research information until Nova, which Nova is a show that it's like a documentary show on PBS stations.
Right.
And it wasn't until Nova did a program about engineered foods that the host, in the beginning of the show, he starts by saying that we're living in a world now based on food and food. They were talking about the Industrial Revolution and the food industry and agricultural and hybrid foods. And one of the most famous hybrid foods that man and woman created in the 20th century, and the man, he bends down, he pulls a carrot out of the soil. So then
the white man said it.
Yes.
The white man said it.
Yes.
So it gotta be true now.
Okay, so tomorrow, it's so interesting that you bring up tomorrow in my presentation, because Sabi used to send people out. Now remember, in 81, Brother Rich, there was not Instagram, there was not Google, there was no Wikipedia. It was the Encyclopedia Britannica. That was the source of knowledge and information in the United States.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
I remember.
That was Google.
Right. So if you knew a nurse, if you knew a brown skinned person who was a nurse or a doctor, and they had access to peer review medical papers, because Sabi knew people from all walks of life that were willing to help him with information. So they would bring information. Sabi would have talks with lawyers, doctors, prostitutes. It didn't matter. I mean, you just wouldn't believe the wide range of individuals that he had a relationship with in his life. And it all brought information to us, right? But I have a copy, a Xerox copy of an article that Sabi sent this brother out to do some research. I think he went to the botanical garden in the Bronx, and he got this article. I'm going to show it tomorrow in my presentation.
Let me share that link. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Let me share that link again.
Where it's an article about hybrid food, and it's talking about the carrot and what two things got genetically combined in order to come out with what we know as a carrot today. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So nobody was talking that, because when we came to the United States, people were juicing carrot juice to the point where their palms and their skin was taking on the orange hue, because they were overindulging in this thing, right? And the body wasn't able to handle it. But that was the craze. Carrot juice. Everything was carrot juice, and so people totally had a disdain for us because we brought this kind of information to the forefront. Because we were not only herbalists, but we also brought a research entity in combination to being herbalists. We were about the information is what's going to help people to comprehend why we are suggesting that they pick up a new paradigm or resume an old paradigm that their ancient ancestors ate, and that the standard American diet was not, the ingredients in that model was not designed for people of African descent or of indigenous Aboriginal descent. Those are not the foods that are consistent with who we are genetically. And the proof is that, let's say all that food was the best nutrition in the world for us, then how come we're not all super athletic like what some of these basketball players? Yeah, how come we're not all like that?
Yeah, why are we not boned out?
How come we not like Serena and Venus? I mean, even though they I'm talking like physically and athletically. How come we're not like that?
Right.
If the food on that standard American diet paradigm was was really what they claiming it to be, how come we're not a nation of athletic people? Because that's what people are eating. How come in this country people dying more of cardiovascular disease than any other disease, and then diabetes and hypertension? How come people are dying of heart attacks? If that's the case, what's clogging up their blood vessels? What's doing that? You know, why are men and women obese? I mean, why are grown men walking around? And I know it may sound old, but it's still happening. Why are they walking around and they look like they're 4 to 5 months pregnant? What is that? What is that? Why is that okay that we watch people metamorph into that kind of deformity? Because if you go to YouTube right now and you look at our people in the 1920s, like if you go to YouTube right now and you look at you pull up a footage of the Nicholas brothers, those are these famous brothers that were tap dancers, or Cab Calloway, and you see the people or Cotton Club film where the women are dancing and you see their bodies, you be like, damn, what happened? Because everybody's slim and fit.
Pull up the parades of Joe Louis coming to Harlem and places like that, because they'll show you thousands of melanated people.
Yes.
And you could just look at their skin texture.
All you have to do is just go to Soul Train. That recently. Go look at some old Soul
Talk
Train.
to him, Mama Pill. Talk to him.
Go to some old Soul Train episodes and watch them on the Soul Train line. Watch what those people do on the Soul Train line. And nobody's obese. Nobody is obese on that show.
Remember, that's why Rerun was such an anomaly.
Yeah.
Good one.
Do you get what I'm saying, Brother Rich? You follow me?
Oh yeah, big time.
That's why Sabi and all the associates with him and the institutes, the research institutes that had various different names. The institute started out as Zui, then it got changed to Ogun, then it got changed to the Usha Research Institute.
Mama Pill, speaking of hybrid foods, and we're talking about foods that are fake, because I remember when I first gained knowledge of self, wheatgrass was huge.
Oh yeah.
And then Sabi come out and say, no wheatgrass.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? I'm like, why is this one brother the only nigga talking about no wheatgrass?
because okay, so what helps us to comprehend why he may have been anywhere from 20 to 30 years ahead of
everybody else
is because, remember, Sabi was a steam engineer unlimited. Sabi was a merchant marine. He boarded his first ship when he was about 16 years old from Honduras. So he was a merchant marine. And then by the time he was an adult, probably in his 20s, he was a steam engineer unlimited. So you would have to Google what a steam engineer unlimited is knowledgeable of to understand how his brain worked. Then he was also a biochemist on top of being an herbalist. Okay. Then I learned this because I used to travel with him a lot. At some point in his life, and maybe someday this gentleman will come forward. When I went to New Orleans with him, at some point in Sabi's life, he was involved with some kind of medical schooling, because I met his friend that continued on, and he is a doctor in Louisiana, New Orleans. So he also had knowledge of anatomy and physiology and medical, because I used to listen to him talk to doctors, and I would be amazed because he was right there with them, right there. You see? So he had a lot of knowledge training by the time he was in front of the audience in New York City, Chicago, Detroit, DC, and then let me see, this year I think he would be maybe 85 or 86. So he was definitely older than the majority of the people who were out there at the time in the business of herbalism and healing. And you have to take that into account. And he was worldly traveled, which is, we also have to take that into account too, because as a merchant marine, you're a merchant of the sea. You're traveling all around the world, taking merchandise to different ports in the world. So you get to get off that ship, and you get to learn the culture and the people. He went everywhere. He was in Russia. He went to Germany. He lived in Africa amongst the Nubas. I mean, he was all over Central and South America. You know, he grew up in Spanish Honduras, so he grew up with an African Spanish culture. So he spoke English and Spanish. So you have to take into account all of that is an experience. All of his life is based on relationships with people all over the world.
So his worldly travels,
yes,
that's what helped him to understand about like what I just talked. What was that? What's the thing I just wheatgrass?
Yeah. So the reason why, okay, so when he presented the research about the wheatgrass, he was talking about how certain grains started out wild, but then they were tampered with genetically. And so what you have today, the thing they're calling wheatgrass, is not the wild wheat that started in the beginning. It's been tampered with genetically. So what he used to talk about, when things are changed genetically, then they don't have like the original molecular structure that God created. So the way that the way the thing is now constructed, it has a different effect in the body because it's missing things. So the body is not going to be able to assimilate it, metabolize it, have a chemical affinity to it, so it becomes one with your body.
Okay.
Body's not going to know what to do with these molecules. What did I do with this? What is this?
And mind you, yes.
So then things start staying stuck inside. Start eroding, start causing acidities, because these chemicals convert to acidic substances. So they start burning you up on the inside, causing scar tissue on the inside, and then delicate veins that are sort of the size of the strand of your hair running through tissue in the body, can't get through. Nerve signals can't get through because you got all this scar tissue that's all burnt up because you're eating all this acidic new food that some man and woman concocted in a laboratory. You know, I always tell people, go look at the original Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just get an idea of these guys thinking.
They're okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
See what I'm
So
saying?
again, when people ask, what is the legacy? What was the contribution of Dr. Sabi? It is the emphasis on genetic purity, and that separates him from anything that everyone else was talking about. He overemphasized the emphasis on genetic purity. What are we dealing with today? What is the conversation that is valid today? The people who are the holdouts, that are the resistance, right? They are speaking about body autonomy and genetic purity,
Yeah.
right? We are the
Blood
last
purity.
vestige, we are the remaining,
Blood purity.
right, of the species
Blood
that
purity.
have held on to our genetic purity, so we're not voluntarily becoming genetically modified organisms
Mm-hmm.
in a participatory process. Now, it might happen overall in due time because of the way that this thing spreads, but we didn't volunteer for it,
Mm-hmm.
right? We were the when it's all said and done, we were the last holdouts for humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that might not mean nothing to nobody right now, but I think that that's a pretty amazing way to edify his legacy and continue the
Mm-hmm.
mission,
Yeah.
right?
Classic.
And that's where we started, and that's where we'll end. It's about
Okay.
genetic purity.
So, Brother Rich, is he still there?
Yeah, I'm in. Yeah.
Okay, so Brother Rich, so Sabi was a teacher, but he was a teacher in the old-fashioned sense or the cultural sense that he was what would have been considered in a village the griot, the holder of ancient historical legacy and history of a people, right? In
Mm-hmm.
a particular geographical location. He used to like to give us examples in nature in case we didn't get it. So he used to talk about how in nature, the way the God created things, they had everything was created in a certain geographical location. And for instance, animals, they don't go outside that line of demarcation. They stay within it. For instance, you will never see a gorilla leave the Serengeti plain and trek to Alaska and start living in that environment and eating, killing, seals, trying to catch a salmon and eat it. In the same sense, you would not see a polar bear trek to the Serengeti plain, start pulling down bamboo leaves and berries and eating them. Because let's say out of some weird fluke of nature, they do it. The environment alone is going to kill the both of them.
Mm.
And the
Mm.
food. So he used to use that analogy to say it's the same way with man, except man has a little bit more adaptability skills, can walk anywhere they want, but animals have enough sense and intelligence to respect where God created them and the habitat, and that's where they stay and they thrive and survive if man doesn't interfere. So that made sense to me when he said it. I mean, does it make sense to you?
Makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So he used to talk in a lot of ways like that so people could get it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we bring the wagon full circle, and we're looking today, and we're saying, all right, the process. That's a whole nother aspect, that this plant-based food is processed,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's super processed.
Yes.
So it's just the soy of today. It's
Yeah.
it's it's the soy of today. It's what soy
Mm.
was yesterday. That's
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
what you know. Fox food is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Plant-based food. The same people that want to genetically modify you with a shot is the same ones that own the stock. You know what I'm saying? In these food places. And I'm telling you, like, as I've been doing more and more research on the pig and what role did the pig have to play in the research that went into this by way of NC, and they sent it to Wuhan.
Yes.
Like, I'm really thinking about when I got sick in 2018, when I first ate that Impossible Burger. And I'm like, two Impossible Burgers back to back. And I had a dream the other day, and I was like, yo, they put that thing in, like, they had to utilize these things that they had access to as their vehicles as testing ground. Why wouldn't they? Why would they tell you now that they put it in a salad? Why would they tell you now, you know what I'm saying, that all of the produce is coming with it? Like, come on, these people been.
I want to let everybody. Yeah, I want to let everybody know. I'm gonna share the link again. We got about 15 minutes left, family. The real show, as I said, is tomorrow. I advise all of you to click on the link, healthiswealth22.eventbrite.com. There's a lot of things that can't be said. You know, I say when Dr. Valentine's on, there's a lot of things that can't be said on this platform. So this is why events like this is necessary. So I advise everybody to click on that link, and it's going to be live and popping tomorrow. You know, I'm definitely going to be in the building. Let's take a couple of questions before we get out of here.
Okay.
Family, I'm going to take about 4 questions before we get out of here. So give me some questions that I could ask Mama Pill, Blue Pill, and Red Pill. All right. Great show. I always love hearing Mama Pill talk. I mean, Mama Pill, I could listen to you talk for hours. So
thank you,
just
brother
hearing
Ray.
you talk, tell the stories about even that when you dropped that about the Soul Train, and I thought about it like, damn, we in Blue Pill was talking about the parade and like, yo, man, we look totally different back then. Totally different. Totally different.
Yeah. Look, and the energy level was more we had a little those folks had a little bit more, they were operating on a higher energy frequency, because I say look at some old tapes of Tina Turner when she was with Ike and the Rockettes, the 3 girls that shimmy and dance with her, and look at how fast Tina Turner and the Ikettes move. And look at some of the old film of the Sister Brothers from the 20s. I think Andre 3000 did a film one time.
Hey y'all. That was the name of it.
Yeah.
Hey y'all.
No, they did a They did a full-fledged film where they
Idlewild.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They had scenes where they were in the 20s and 30s and they were dancing. But you can go to YouTube and see footage from that era and look at how they're moving. The guy is dancing. He takes the girl. He throws.
Oh, he throws him. Yeah, You're right, Mama Pill.
He puts her through his legs.
His legs, all types of
turns around, grabs her.
Yo.
Then they shimmy.
Yo, you right. Yo, they used to take the woman, flip them here, flip them. Yo, you right. Damn, man. They got us. They got us.
Look,
man.
look.
Man.
And now we got Pasa.
Oh man, they got us.
Now we got Pasa.
Oh, they got us, man. The way we used
look
to
at the
move.
boxers too. Look at the boxers from the 20s. Go and look at Jack Johnson.
Oh yes.
All the way up into Pernell Whitaker.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm talking about super slim dudes with Marvin Hagler. You feel me?
100 rounds.
100 rounds with Jack Johnson.
The stamina.
What
does that say about their physiology? What does that say about their genetics?
Yes.
You feel me?
Yes.
You're looking at melanin in motion when we're looking at these individuals. Look at Dr. J. You know, look at us.
Let me get to a few questions, Blue.
Get some questions.
They didn't have all of the robotic training that LeBron has access to. I'm not saying that LeBron is a result of that, but they were not robotic. They were natural.
Okay.
You feel me? Yeah. And I grew up looking at N1. I grew up going to Rucker. I know what our people is capable of. Look, 40-ounce up and blunted.
So what? Right? We got some questions.
Yeah, we got first question. What does drinking out of plastic do to the body?
Oh my God. What do they mean, drinking out of plastic?
Plastic cups. Plastic cups. All these
Plastic
plastic
bottles,
cups.
maybe.
Water bottles.
Well, they do say that there's chemical leakage. Yeah, there's some kind of
It's
chemical
chemical.
leakage.
Yeah, if it's
So
not
so
BPA approved,
right.
it's
So
leaking.
so if you can do glass, if you can do glass, that's better. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Generally, when people are asking that question, they're talking about water. Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, in particular, because of manufacturing
Mm-hmm.
and industry, they're gonna buy plastic from the cheapest place they could get it. So normally we would say that a lot of that plastic is coming from China and it's contaminated. There's
Okay.
leakage. Hence the fact that if you're doing something healthy, you will be looking
Yeah.
for a BPA label,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's chemicals that are consistently gene bending chemicals in
Right.
some of the plastics, such as the pacifiers and the baby
Oh
bottles.
yeah. Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
gender bending chemicals.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's
So yeah, this is the
Okay.
leakage factor.
let's get to the next question. Can I
Yeah.
ingest aloe vera raw from the plant, or is it too concentrated?
Okay, so all right, now this is another reason why they were upset with us. Cause so Sabi used to do a presentation where he would get answers about the aloe, and so the wild aloe is not the one that that big green leaf. That is not a wild aloe. That's not how wild aloe grow. Wild aloe is it's a smaller plant, and the leaf is more like a reddish, grayish, translucent color. It's not green. So that is a hybrid species. So people in the Caribbean, where my parents are from, they used to take a little piece of the gel, and say if you had a burn or something like that, they would smash it and put it on the skin to soothe it. And if they needed to sort of purge themselves internally, they just take a little piece and eat it. But that's the wild aloe. That big green one is a hybrid. And then they have aloe in the stores where it's a liquid and it doesn't taste bitter. I don't know what that is.
Any questions? I see some of y'all asking questions about the jabbing turn. That
The
will
what?
be discussed tomorrow, because we can't discuss that
Okay.
here for obvious reasons. I just told you Red and Blue channel is suspended.
Yes.
So that will be any questions about the jabbing turn, and you
Yes.
serious about how to get help with that.
Yes.
I advise you to sign up to the Zoom
Yes.
tomorrow, and I'm gonna post
Yes.
the link right now.
Yes.
So that is for tomorrow. That's why they're doing that tomorrow. It's a whole purpose for that, family. All right.
Yes.
How to rid the body of cyst.
Okay, so a cyst is okay. So I had a cyst could be formed due to someone having a concentration of parasites. Where's the cyst? Are they saying where it is?
No, just
Okay.
that, no.
Yeah. Okay. So sometimes the women have cysts on their ovaries. That's very common to hear that, oh, I have a cyst on my ovary. That's what my gynecologist told me, and I'm feeling pain. So cysts can consist of a parasitical infestation in an organ or a tissue or a gland. So it's generally good when people have cysts. You could do a blood analysis, because there are people who do live blood analysis, so that you could see if they're infested with parasites, or if it's just again erosion of soft tissue because of high acidity in the body. And again, what you would have to do is cleanse the body, change that high acidity in the body, get it to where the body chemistry is more acid alkaline balance. You don't just want high alkalinity, because that could be as dangerous as high acidity. It's what we're doing always is maintaining balance in the body, something called homeostasis in the body, where that's a state of balance in the body, where everything in the body, all systems, organs, glands, cells are operating in full interdependency with each other, and the body maintains a balanced equilibrium, so the person stays in the state of joy, happiness, calmness, tranquility. That's called the state of homeostasis. That's what you always want to be doing, your activities every day to maintain homeostasis. So you want to be exercising, thinking, meditating, eating, drinking, resting, loving, respecting yourself, doing self-care, respecting others to maintain homeostasis. Because when the body is in homeostasis, you're able to better make all the right choices in terms of how to move and maneuver in the world.
All right, let's get to the next question. Is blood type relevant to diet?
Okay, so this is what I say about people when they start talking about blood type. What comes before blood type is blood. Wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
First blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's important to have healthy blood. And what is blood? Blood consists of basically 4 components: red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and plasma. What's important is that you're eating, drinking, exercising, getting sunlight, fresh air, so that your body every 120 days approximately is producing all those components in all the right numbers. And then you may want to talk about blood type.
You cold-blooded with it, Mama Pam.
No, I'm just saying.
You said before the blood type come to blood.
Right. Right.
Okay.
So your body's supposed to produce a certain amount of red blood cells every, say, 120 days, white blood cells, platelets, and plasma, because your body is doing certain things with those numbers of red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets. If you get cut, you have to have platelets, because that's what clogs up the blood pouring out of the cut artery or capillary or vein. So you need the platelets, right? Because if you don't, you bleed. You'll just hemorrhage, right?
What? Good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you need plasma, and you need white blood cells, because your lymphatic system, and I'll talk about all this tomorrow, is made from those components of your blood. So let's say you don't have enough of those components, then you're not going to have a healthy immune system, because it won't be able to produce the components of your immune system that are there to detect, oh, that is not of me, that is an invader, I must kill, because that's how the immune system works. You see what I'm saying? So it's important to, like, the old people knew this, Brother Rich. They knew about your blood. They knew that your blood was your flesh and your flesh was your blood. So they would clean us out all the time. They would give us
You
bitters.
said the bitters.
Yes.
You told me.
The worms out during the full moon. They would clean you out. I don't care what you thought about it. You didn't have nothing to say about it. You had to line up and take what they gave you. Right? And then they gave you the herbs and the food to build your blood all the time. Listen, every culture does it. The Asians do it. You know that old stinky fruit, it's the ginkgo biloba, the
biloba, yeah.
You know, you ever seen them Asians in the park around fall, and they picking up these berries that smell like vomit?
Yeah.
Okay, they take that home, they clean off the flesh, then they crack open the shell, because there's something that looks almost like a pistachio.
Mm-hmm.
They crack open that shell, and inside is this white meaty flesh, right? And they dry that out, and then they put, like, they use that as a seasoning in their food all winter for their blood. Now, how do I know that? Because the Asian saw me picking up some one day, and her mother was with her, and the mother didn't speak English, but the daughter did, and the mother gave the daughter a recipe to give me. She said, "Oh, we never see brown skin. We never see black people know what this is. How you know to get this? Oh, my grandmother want to tell you what to do, what we do." So people do things in cultures to build the blood. The Indians have this cucumber. It's real bumpy. It's called bitter squash.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the prickly pear.
No, it's green and it looks like a cucumber, but it's all lumpy.
Okay,
it's called bitter squash. They eat this in their food all the time. They eat it all the time. So I'm just saying, people in different parts of the world, culturally, as far as their dietary law is concerned, they have elements within the cuisine that is bitter, sweet, pungent, sour, to aid the body in being healthy, even though they eat a whole lot of other stuff.
Well, let's get to one more question. Get right.
Now, I just wanted to add on that, you know, what Mama Pill was saying about, regardless of what they may eat, right? During the holidays, during the seasons and whatnot, they mastered building the blood, and they also mastered cleaning the body out, right? They were not constipated. They were not, you know, they did not hold on to the things.
Waste.
Right. They were not holding on to waste. They have ways to remove it and whatnot. So you always get people to throw it out there about, oh, well, my grandmother lived to be 100 and this person lived to be that. And I say to them, well, McDonald's did not exist. Your grandmother wasn't.
She was not eating chicken McNuggets.
That's right.
She was not eating that sandwich that had people stabbing people, killing people when they got to the counter, and they said, "Oh, we don't have any more."
Right.
Come on.
Yeah, they wasn't eating hot flaming Cheetos wings from Subways. Right?
I'm like, people, come on, use your common sense. They were dealing with a different animal 100 years ago. It's not the same animal anymore. It's not
even the same animal.
It's not the same chicken. It's not the same cow. It's not the same pig. First of all, those people were living off the earth, and they raised those animals. And they had a whole ritual where before they would slaughter the animal, they clean the animal out, right?
Right.
And then they would slaughter the animal, and then they would cure the flesh. They would cure the flesh.
That's right.
That's not being done anymore. And they did not eat a 16-piece bucket.
Right.
I mean, people, part of what's wrong with people is that people are involved in unhealthy dietary laws, or they're not following godly. They're not following godly dietary law. People are participating in gluttony and overconsumption.
That's a fact.
Because who needs to eat a 16-piece bucket?
Supersize me.
Yeah. I mean, come on. We're overindulging, especially adults, overindulging in these food stuff things. You see what I'm saying? We're overindulging because, first of all, people are overindulging because people are not having healthy relationships with one another. Males and females are not having healthy relationships anymore with one another. So that's one of the reasons why there's this deficiency in terms of fulfilling what men and women can come together and provide for one another.
Right.
So they're getting it from
Compensation.
outside sources. They're getting
Right.
it from liquor. They're getting it from ice cream, cookies, bread,
Really?
because people, I'm not saying people don't want to do the work to be in a harmonious relationship with the opposite sex. I'm saying sometimes people don't even know how.
Right.
They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
It's like, look, I don't know what to do. Let me go get me some ice cream tonight.
Hey, but I want everybody to sign up. I got to get out of here, family.
Yeah.
But I want
Yeah.
everybody to sign up tomorrow to this webinar. I'm putting the link in the chat once again. It's going to be Mama Pill, Blue Pill, Red Pill. A lot of things that can't be talked about for obvious reasons on here will be discussed tomorrow, family.
Yeah.
So hopefully I will see y'all tomorrow. All right.
A lot of
What I
information.
also want to present to the people who sign up and join us tomorrow is I have archival lectures of Sabi back in the 80s. So I would like to start sharing excerpts of those. They're going to be presented later on in my book, but tomorrow I'm going to play an excerpt of a lecture, because even though it's something a lecture he presented in 1986, the information is still relevant today. So that's going to be a part of the presentation tomorrow. Some archival information, Sabi's words out of his mouth from an 86 lecture. And today it's it just happened to be that today is Martin Luther King's actual birthday, where I've been hearing a lot of excerpts of his speeches today on the radio.
Yes, for anybody asking, will the replay be available? Yes, of course, it will definitely be available. If you're not able to participate in all of the lecture tomorrow, I specifically made it on Sunday, January 16th. Monday is a national holiday, so people will have time to basically get the information and do your research afterwards. It's not a lecture, it's a workshop.
Yeah.
Workshop implies that it's solution-based and it's information that you could take immediately and do something with it.
Right.
So I will be the host. Brother Red Pill is going to be hosting. Mama Pill is the featured guest. She's going to open up. Blue Pill has a plethora of information that he has not been able to share. He's been compiling it. He's been doing multiple IG lives, and he's been giving y'all pellets and trinkets of what it is that he has. So I need to let my brother do what he does. At the top of the year, everybody is out here ailing. There's a lot of fear in the air. There's a lot of discomfort taking place because we don't know what's going to happen in the next few weeks. They're talking about bringing the children back into the virtual spaces. So what are we doing? We're bringing our oracle, our mama, to bring solutions, to bring information that's going to hit where it needs to hit and make sense, so we could go into January, February, March, April, May with a clear mind, and these people could stop playing games with us. Let's fortify ourselves with preventative information. Let's be on
healthy,
not defense. Love it.
Facts. And on that note, family, let me share the link one last time for everybody who's did not see it. The link is in the chat right now, family. I'm gonna see hopefully all of y'all tomorrow, right? We got 1,000 people in here. I'll see you tomorrow, right?
Okay.
All right. Peace, family.
All right. Thank you, Brother Rich.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Family. See you guys tomorrow, family. Love
all right.